Welcome to Medica Wellness Studio. I'm Angelika Maria Koch with your educational videos about how to live optimal health and vibrant well-being as I continue to guide you step by step through an amazing and life-transformative process, empowering you to connect with your body and soul in a completely new way again. So let's continue with the discovery series of the radical chakra healing in the new world, the fourth chakra called ANAHATA Part 2. In which I give you great tips how to heal your simple and common heart ailments which are associated to this chakra with natural and effective therapeutic tools. So I encourage you to subscribe to my channel and like this video. And if you want to explore my comprehensive online courses in homeopathy and quantum healing, or if you're interested in a personal health consultation, you can contact me at my website medicanova.net and my email health@medicanova.net. But just to remind you again, the lesson of the heart chakra, called ANAHATA, is that we first must love and accept ourselves before we are able to love the others. If you want to know more about it, go back to my previous video where I talk about the metaphysical description about this chakra. And today's text is taken from my book, The Dance of Your Core Healing, Transforming Your Mind, Body and Soul in the New World. Maybe you want to get hold of that as well. So as we talk about heart disease, needless to say, it is the #1 killer in the US today next to colon cancers and is all related to our diet. So in the 1930s, we hardly have seen heart attacks or strokes, maybe 3,000 a year, and this number is not valuable enough anymore, and there is an increase of 200 or more %, so you can make up your numbers here. So I want to just go a little bit about the basic knowledge what we have about the heart. Most of the people think it's just a pump, and it circulates blood around the body and it generates pressure waves. Well, I hope this video will portray to you that your physical heart as well as your heart chakra is much more than that. To start with, it's an electromagnetic generator as well as an endocrine gland. So it produces a wide range of electromagnetic frequencies, and it also makes and releases vital hormones which are great for the body, and it is part of the central nervous system. So more than simply just thinking it's a pump, scientists now recognize the heart is a highly complex system and it has its own functional brain. So we have our mental brain, we have our digestive brain, yes, we make decisions with our guts, and we have our heart brain. So the human heart feels things the eyes cannot see and knows what the mind cannot understand. So did you know that your heart beats about 100,000 times a day, 40 million times a year, or about 3 billion times over a lifespan maybe, or the years of 70 to 80? That in itself is amazing. 2 gallons of blood per minute or 100 gallons an hour travel through your vessels and arteries with a combined length of 60,000 miles. That's twice the circumference of this planet. That in itself should give you the feeling of wow, right? I mean, and that happens all while you watch this video. So the heart produces at least 5 different hormones, which have a broad impact on the organ, the brain, and the body. And these hormones strongly impact the central nervous system, and that involves learning, memory, as well as sort of exploratory activity when we go into a new environment. So the heart is directly wired into the central nervous system and brain and interconnected with all the 4 brain centers. So the physical heart is really a sensory organ and a quite sophisticated center in sort of receiving and processing information. So the nervous system within the heart, and we call that the heart brain, enables it to learn, to remember, and make sort of functional decisions quite interdependent from your actual mental brain. So numerous experiments have demonstrated that the signals the heart continuously sends to the brain influence the function of the higher brain centers, and that involves perception, cognition, and also emotional processing. So it has been shown that the information flowing through the human body impacts the brain only after the heart has first perceived it. Do you understand it? It doesn't go straight to the brain, it goes to the heart first. The heart first perceives it and then it sends the information to the brain. So that gives you, or should give you, a real good impact in what is your relationship towards your heart. What is your relationship towards your emotions? So how we perceive the world and our loved ones is determined by how our heart has received this information before it sends it to the brain for further evaluation. So physical heart symptoms really remind us to go back to our heart. The heart not only deals with your unresolved emotions and external perceived frequencies, but also with your ever-growing sort of pile of toxins, the waste products within our body. You want to go maybe back to a previous video where I talked about the toxic stress cycle, which is really a domino effect of a bucket full of toxins starting at your dinner plate, being passed on from organ to organ. Well, when it arrives at your heart and it cannot deal with it, it dumps the toxins to your muscles and soft tissue. So if you have constant muscle pain, or your soft tissues are really affected here, then maybe it's time for a detoxification program. You can contact me here too at my email health@medicanova.net. Now today, the hottest topic sort of in the medical research is of course cellular inflammation. Why is that? Because it destabilizes cholesterol deposits in the coronary arteries and is often seen today as the true leading cause of heart attacks and possible strokes. So, your doctor maybe have said, oh, you have a high cholesterol and you want to quench that. Well, I show you in a minute that the production of cholesterol is really, really important in your body and you shouldn't just quench it. So when this happens, microorganisms cause inflammation within the blood vessels by creating sort of a lesion, a little cut, a little wound that attacks the inside of the arteries. But your body is never your enemy, it's your best friend, and it says, oh my God, she has a wound, I'm gonna create a band-aid. And so the body creates a plug made from cholesterol and lays it over that wound. It wants to protect you. But of course, in time, underneath this band-aid, the inflammatory process is still active. The band-aid or the plug of cholesterol starts to bulge. And then we have small part of the blood vessels which give way. And that's where the problem is. The wound is bigger now, it needs to be fixed, it needs to be plugged. We need a cork in a wine bottle, so to say. It's really like it's imminent. And if this blood clot, breaks loose and it goes to the brain, we have a stroke. And if it goes to the heart, it's a heart attack. But simply stated, without inflammation being present in the body in the first place, there's no way that cholesterol would accumulate in the wall of the blood vessels and cause maybe heart disease or even strokes. So what causes cellular inflammation today? It's not the inflammation you will feel. It's not that you have pain and oh my God, something is inflamed. It's cellular inflammation. You're not even aware about it. And most of the population is suffering from it today. So a human body is not designed, nor can it process foods with large amounts of sugars. As well, most of our food is soaked in too much omega-6 oils. People say, oh my God, I take fish oil. Well, often we have an imbalanced ratio of the omega-3, 6 and 9 oils. So we want to bring in flaxseed oil, borage oil next to the fish oil as well. So here it goes back to your dinner plate next to environmental pollutant, of course, alcohol, smoking, bad fats, I mentioned that, as well as lack of sleep over time can cause this inflammatory process. The foods you want to avoid here are corn, soybean oils, pasture oils, conventionally dairy, refined carbs, conventional meat, sugars of all kinds, and trans fats. I really want to remind you to stay away with it. But you can also bring in great foods and helps to quench this inflammatory process, like fiber-rich and antioxidant-rich foods. Here we have the whole range of vegetables, from carrots to beets to all the green ones, and even cruciferous vegetables would be good here. I know when I mention that, I know the thyroid affected listeners maybe say, no, that's not good for me, and I agree, because it can activate the thyroid. But I want to just share that with you. You know, the range from the red vegetables towards the green vegetables would be great here, as well as mushrooms, sea vegetables, and squashes. We want to bring in fruits, and particularly the berries, rich in antioxidants, and as well as citrus fruit. Why we want antioxidants? Because if we have a high inflammatory process within our body, we have an over excess of free radicals in our body, and we want to quench this. Either the bad guys, so we want to bring in antioxidants. Also, I would say herbs and spices, turmeric, raw garlic, ginger of course, basil chili maybe, cinnamon, curry powder, rosemary and thyme would be great. Traditional teas, I would say a green tea, oolong or white tea. Legumes and beans. Healthy fats, definitely nuts and seeds and avocados, or wild caught fish, if you get one still without free toxins. Coconut oil, and of course organic cold pressed virgin olive oil. And raw unpasteurized dairy products, cage-free eggs, and pasture-raised poultry. Really change your diet. A simple and effective way to reduce cholesterol in the body is to separate your proteins and your carbs. And I've seen it many times in clients. They often brought in quite naturally their cholesterol just by following this guideline. So in the morning, you have your plate maybe with a small amount, 25 or 30% of protein, you know, from eggs or even meat, and you have a combination of fresh salad or light steamed vegetables. But you leave out the carbs, so no toasts or a turkey sandwich. And you start eating that from the morning till about 2-3 afternoon time scale. And then in the evening, you eat all the carbs you like in combination with veg, but no protein. You leave out the meat. That in itself, you know, brings down the cholesterol quite easily. If you have more questions, you can contact me at my email health@medicanova.net. Now, Orthodox medicine, of course, still believes that the best-selling drugs in the world is statin, is here the answer, and it quenches the cholesterol. But understanding our Band-Aid example, which I just told you, you can see that the cholesterol production in the body has its meaning, it has its place, and it's not good to just quench it and get rid of it, so to say. Statins do have anti-inflammatory properties, but they also have they come with a big price to pay. They have side effects, and over time you have the muscle aches and the memory problems. So statins do not quench the interior smoldering fire, nor do they actually bring lasting cure. So you really want to go back to start taking more high doses of a balanced ratio of omega-3, 6 and 9, as well maybe of red yeast rice supplements. But did you know that half of the heart attacks occur in people with normal cholesterol levels? As imaging techniques now have improved, we now know that most of the dangerous plaque wasn't really, enough to cause many initial heart attacks. So when scientists researched this phenomenon, they soon realized it was cellular inflammation that caused these deposits to burst and to trigger and to cut off the coronary blood supply. So coming back to our heart chakra, or to our heart brain, many believe that conscious awareness originates in the brain alone, and that is almost like separate, a separate entity from the body. And recent research even has shown us and suggests that consciousness actually emerges from the brain and the rest of the body altogether. Maybe you've heard about the Institute of Heart Math. Really highly recommend here. They provided us with invaluable scientific research here. And it has enlightened us that, that the fact that the electromagnetic field of the Earth has a direct relationship to the electromagnetic field of your heart, which is 5,000 times stronger than the electromagnetic field of the brain. I mean, this is a dance and an interplay here. So emotions are therefore waves, they're frequencies, and according to their signature, either they're high frequencies or low frequency, display different kinds of vibrations. So we have uplifting frequencies from love and joy and the sense of being alive, and lower frequencies of angst and depression and grief. But it's not our brain causing all this to happen. It is our thoughts that shape our neural networks. So what you bring in, what is your relationship to your thought patterns, what is your relationship to your heart, will actually determine the consistency and the well-functioning of your neural networks. So the quality of our perception to life and the expression of our thoughts affect the body's cellular behavior, as well as the quality of human vibrations. So our heart can be seen as an open energy system that needs to interact with other energy forms. It has to. It doesn't want to do this by itself. So as the heart decodes and encodes information, it also generates and delivers varying waves of information directly to the brain, which are then distributed to the rest of the body. So your heart is really an ingenious creation. It's not just a pump. So witnessing your feelings by fully acknowledging them, and I really mean the whole scope here, from the high frequencies to the low frequencies, but by cultivating a kind of neutrality towards them. So we don't want to identify with the emotions, is the first step to becoming the conscious creator of a coherent electromagnetic field generated by your heart. This is your responsibility. The mind is just bringing up fleeting, sensations here. Are you interacting with it? Are you engaging with it? Do you have a choice here even? Or are you just a martyr and a victim of your own, conditioned belief systems? In this manner, your brain and nervous system will be influenced and calibrated in a coherent way, allowing you to live a coherent life. So, as already mentioned, the rhythm and dance of the heart influences the general rhythm of the body, and on a larger scale, the entire world. Your electromagnetic field is radiating from your body and your heart, way out there, and it's touching another electromagnetic field. And the earth has its own electromagnetic field. So we constantly touch each other without using our hands, and we exchange information. So don't you want to bring out the best in you and share with the world your highest gifts rather than the lower frequencies? So the heart remembers this unity, and in so doing remembers the unity and sanctity of the body. In this moment of remembering, we can touch and feel the beauty within. Feel softer, become more humble, and recognize that consciousness of the heart is beauty itself. When the outer and inner worlds merge and unify, the idea of duality between the soul and the body is forgone at that moment. And in my book, I always bring back the question and also the answer to become an active participant in this new world requires action, as well as active participation in experience the world through the heart. And this is the new world. We can't just be in the mind anymore. We have to drop into the heart and really start living from that place. So in the last video, I already mentioned that most physical ailments related to the ANAHATA chakra are high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, atherosclerosis, which is thickening and hardening of the arteries, asthma, chronic obstructive lung diseases, the whole gamut of autoimmune diseases, rheumatoid arthritis comes here, polymyositis, which is inflammation of the muscular associated tissues, and of course the malignant diseases. Now in this video, I will focus more on natural supplements right now and not so much on homeopathic remedies, because for this I would like you to consult your healthcare practitioner and professional homeopath, where you can also contact me at my email health@medicanova.net for questions. So I want you, if you have just simple and common heart ailments, start taking garlic. Yep, it sounds simple. It's your kitchen pharmacy, but several studies, and not just several, many have found garlic to be beneficial for conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and coronary heart disease. It helps slow the development of the atherosclerosis, which is the hardening and the thickening of the arteries, and also it improves the circulation. It really cleanses the blood, and also has these anti-thrombotic properties. And here I want to just make a note: if you're on blood thinners, then really refer to your healthcare practitioner, because garlic might be not here so well suggested. But usually eat 1, 2, or 3 freshly garlic cloves during the day. And if that is a problem because of the smell, you can mix it up with some organic milk or take supplements. Usually 600 to 1000 milligrams, sort of cut in 3 equal doses during the day, is suggested here. The herb hawthorn comes to mind. It's well known for heart conditions, and it helps the blood flow to the heart and improves the cardiac contraction. And when the muscles is more stabilized, of course we have then a stronger output. It also helps increase cardiac performance and output, and reduces the heart workload. It also comes in a homeopathic form. It's called Strategos here, and low potency I would suggest it here, maybe 6 or 12C for months. And it's also helpful for sort of when the rhythm of the heart is irregular, maybe tachycardia. So really have a think about hawthorn. You can also get it in supplement form. I would say 300 to 600 milligrams 3 times a day would be helpful. Arjuna, our Ayurvedic herb, is here. We cannot get away with that. It's considered a natural cardiotonic and a cardiac restorative like hawthorn. It strengthens the cardiac muscle, reduces arterial congestion, and it lowers the blood pressure. I would say it's a tree bark powder. I would say 1/2 teaspoon and a little honey in a glass of warm milk maybe. You can take it in the evening. Take it 3 times a day, maybe for a few months. It can be very helpful. If you don't like the powder, you can get it in capsule form, maybe 500 milligrams daily would be suggested. Because of the inflammatory process here, I really would say turmeric. Don't forget that. It's great to prevent the atherosclerosis again. Turmeric has an active ingredient called Cumin that helps maintain heart health by reducing cholesterol oxidation, plaque buildup, and sort of clot formation. It also helps to bring the bad fats, the LDA, in your blood panels, and provides, as I said, anti-inflammatory benefits. It's a really great antioxidant, and it neutralizes these free radicals, which we don't want in that case. You can use it in cooking, but you can also use it, 1 teaspoonful, you boil it up with a cup of milk, it's with some honey. It's nice to take it in the evening. It really helps you to fall asleep well as well. You can also take it in supplement form. Again, 400 to 600 milligram is sort of the standard suggestion 3 times a day. Cayenne, chili powder, another kitchen pharmacy, but so helpful here. Don't underestimate chili. I've saved an Irish guy on the street who was about to have a heart attack. And I just ran into my house and gave him a teaspoon of chili, and it turned him around. You can save lives. It contains capsaicin. That's very beneficial for treating heart and circulatory problems. It also helps reduce the risk of irregular heart rhythm, again tachycardia, and lowers, of course, cholesterol levels. So really it's a great way how to purify your blood and strengthens your immune system. I would say 1/2 to 1 teaspoon. Start slow first of cayenne pepper, of course, with a cup of hot water. Stir well, drink it maybe 2-3 times a day, or just once a day for a few weeks. Another option, of course, is always supplements and capsules. I want to bring in another antioxidant called CQ10, or coenzyme CQ10. It's a substance similar to vitamin, and it is found in every cell of the body. Your body makes this coenzyme and your cells use it to produce energy your body needs for cell growth and maintenance. It's a great antioxidant, and yes, we can find it in a variety of foods, but it's mainly in meat. We want to step away from that, so I suggest it in supplement form. So I think this is all I want to say at the moment about the heart chakra and also its physical ailments. And remember, a world is birthed by deviating from the perception of the mind to the perception of living the path of the heart. This is where I want you to come back to. Right? It's not just going out and getting the drug and suppressing the cholesterol or doing something for your heart ailments. No, go back to your heart chakra first. Start changing your relationship to your thought patterns, to your feelings, and your heart will love you for that because it needs you. So in 2 weeks, I will present a video in which I summarize for you sort of the first, the second, the third, and the fourth chakra. So we're just gonna, we arrived at the midpoint here. So I feel like let's just step back and summarize what we learned so far. I just want to give you a little heads up. By the end of the May, I'm gonna go on a 6-week travel journey. I need a break too. And then there won't be any videos. So the 5th chakra will be around mid-July. And in the meantime, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel and have a look at my website medicanova.net for my online courses. Or again, if you have any questions, you can always contact me at my email health@medicanova.net. I'm happy to help. And till then, much love. Take care.